Okay guys, welcome back to my channel deepbluepipsfx Academy, where you are at least sure of getting a good trading signal for good profits. So if you are new to the channel guys, please help us to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Don't forget to do that, because whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to get notified. So if you are a old time subscriber, if you're an existing subscriber, I indulge you, I encourage you to always help us to like, leave us a good comment if you find this quite interesting, and always don't forget to turn on your notification bell guys. It's very important, because whenever I make any video, you'll be the first to get notified. So today we'll be talking about GBP I think this should be the second time I'm talking about this pair, because so far the market structure that we saw, I think, though this is daily time frame, I just want to have a quick talk about it, then we'll start all over from the higher time frame, which is the monthly time frame. When the market was coming down, when we saw this rejection candles here, like the market wanted to hold down, so I knew that this supply, or this demand will be a hindrance first. Then if we break below, that's if this demand here fails to hold, then we might break below for possibility of this liquidity here that is resting below here. However, I will talk about the reason for what I just said. I'll talk about the reason then. So far markets was able to react. We got about 70 pips from the first entry before we were kicked out by market at break even. So we broke below it, and market is currently heading down to the second area of entry. So I think I made the video on this page GBPUSD, so it will not be new to you. You can just quickly go back to the previous video to check what I talked about GBPUSD, to refresh your memory about it. So let's go to monthly time frame. Let's start from there. Okay, or should I start with 3 months time frame, because I think we have a good market structure there. Okay, I think let's start from there, then I'll take this out. Okay, hold on guys, just trying to connect this. Hold on. Okay, I think it's better off this way. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is my chart on 3 months time frame. Now, if we check very well, the market has been in a down flow. Like, we had our first, this trend line is valid because from this low here, this last low here has been taken down, so we can say that this is a valid trend line. We have our first touch here, our second touch here, and we started flowing down. So from this second touch here, we had this impulse move to the downside. However, we have a 3 month supply here, which is this 3 months time. We have a 3 month supply here. So after this impulse, there must be a correction, for a possible continuation to, since it's a downtrend, for a possible continuation to the downside. Now, if you want to measure to know our Okay, if you want to measure with our Fibonacci, we take it from this swing high here to this swing low. Okay, so if you watch here, from during all this correction to the downside, markets broke above the 0.382, which is this first line, the 0.50, which is this second line. Price is currently reacting at the 0.618, which is this third line here, and there are a lot of liquidities inside between the 0.618 and the 0.782, this zone here. Let me highlight it, then I will talk about it as well. Okay, inside this zone, so we'll be seeing a missed price action inside this zone here until we get a good rejection of this zone. Yeah, so far market is currently reacting to this zone, and we have an imbalance here. This candle here, we have an imbalance, so there's a possibility of price to fill this imbalance before we can continue heading to the downside. So I'm still very much optimistic about this pair, and I'll keep updating us so that we'll see a good trading opportunity in this pair. So we are still seeing this correction until we have a good market, a change in market structure, shifting from the bullish side to the bearish side before we can otherwise say that it is now a bear market. So far we are in the bearish correction, which is the bullish movement, so we'll not take that for granted. Now let's go over to monthly time frame. Let's see what we have there. Okay, so in monthly time frame, price is quite interesting. Now I will take this out. I will take this out as well. Now in monthly time frame, if you watch very well, we have a monthly level of resistance. When market breaks above a certain level, which is a resistance or a resistance or a support, there's a possibility of price testing the neckline of the resistance or the support before it can continue to its direction, in the sense that when it breaks a resistance, for instance, it will come to test it as a support before it can continue going to its direction. But when it breaks a support, it comes to retest it as a resistance before continuing to its direction. So in this case, it broke above the resistance above here. Let me highlight it so that you see it very well. Here was serving as a level of a resistance here. Okay, so here was serving as a level of resistance, this zone here, before this candle finally broke above, and any moment we are testing it again. So there's a possibility of price having a good rejection of this zone, but will not just conclude that. We'll have to see markets change from bullish environment to a bearish environment with a good confirmation in a lower time frame before we can switch our buyers. However, since we are seeing this, all we have to do is respect this monthly level of resistance, which is now acting as a support, before we can if we see a good break below, before we can say okay, market is shifting, and then we can call this whole move here a fake out, being that it came to test this supply zone as well. So we can call this a fake out if if this move switches down below with a good confirmation. However, if it doesn't, that means here was a resistance which is now acting as a support. so there's a possibility of price heading back above. So in monthly time frame, price is currently testing the level of monthly resistance to be acting as a support for us in the market. So let's go over to weekly, sorry. Let's see what we have. Okay. So just as I pointed in monthly, sorry, it's still the same thing in weekly. So this whole zone here is the monthly level of support, resistance, sorry, which is acting as a support for us in the market. So inside this whole zone here is where we might see a good, reaction, then continuation to the upside. So we need to have a good validation before we can do that. So in weekly, we are seeing the correction just as we saw in monthly as well. So we might be careful enough to see a good market reaction of this zone for a possible continuation to the upside. So let's go to daily. Let's see what we have. Okay, I think this is where we have a good, interesting price action. Now, let's pay attention, please. I want us to understand something. In daily time frame, here has been acting as a support, as a resistance, sorry. And this is where I talked about a monthly time frame. So from here, we got all this rejection to the downside. From here, we got all this rejection. You can see clusters of rejections around this zone. We got it to the downside before the market was able to break. However, being that here is a rejection, a resistance, we can see that market created a level of supply around here. Since market created a supply around here, this demand here was responsible breaking this supply here. This demand here, let me highlight it. This whole demand that we are seeing here is responsible breaking this supply here, which is this resistance here. So there's a possibility of price reacting off this demand, before there's a possibility of price reacting off this demand for a continuation to the upside. So we need market to trade below this zone. Let me highlight it again. We need markets to trade below this zone before we can confidently say that, okay, market is about switching its direction. But until then, since we are above this zone here, there's a good probability of price reversing, even taking out these highs, for a possible continuation to the upside. So in that case, it will be more like market giving us series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so I think I will start from here. So it will not be a thing of market giving us higher highs and higher lows, because we had, here was our last low here. Market printed a high here. We had our higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We had equal highs here, and we had, market was unable to take out these lows here, so we can equally say that here is a higher low. However, since here was our last higher high, market broke above it, so we can say that here our higher high, equal low, higher high, because here has been taken out as well. And if we see a good rejection of this zone, so we can see that here is our last higher low before we can continue trading above. However, from these last lows here to these highs here, if you want to take a measurement to see if markets will have a good reaction and rejection, let's see. Take from this swing low here to this swing high. So current market is currently in between the 0.382 and the 0.5. And remember, here is the demand I talked about that price is likely to react to. This demand here. So price is likely to give us a good rejection, change its bias, from in trading from bullish structure. Sorry, from bearish structure to bullish structure in trading time frame. That's the lower time frame. When we see that, before we can confidently say that we are heading above, and if possible take out these highs and create a new highs as well. So I am anticipating for this move. If you are liking what I'm talking about, if it's interesting, please give us a thumbs up, like, and don't forget to subscribe, please, if you are yet to do that. So let's continue. Let me check this out. So how do I approach this market now, or how do we take a trading decision? First, we have to see that market is still inside this, because if we take from this swing low here, this low here is responsible for this high, for these highs here. So we can confidently say that our trend line, if we want to take our trend line, if we start from here is a valid one. So connect it all through to this zone here. So we have a valid trend line there. Our first touch, second touch. So inside this zone, we might see price give us a third touch, then for a possible continuation to the upside. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, how do we react, or where are we expecting our TPs to be? First, we'll go back to monthly time frame, because I do said something about the imbalance the market is reacting to. Remember, this is the supply zone in 3 months time frame. Okay, go to weekly. Let me see. Okay, I think now if we even watch, we can see that even inside this zone we have a clear weekly supply here, and we have our weekly order block here. So this is where I will be expecting markets to reach out to, before having a good decision on its own again. This zone here. Yeah, around the, I think, hold on, 1.30 round figure, which is a psychological level. Yeah, so should be expecting lows, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, another higher high, before we can possibly think of either a continuation or change in either in continuation or break above, then continue trading above. Hold on, let me check out for something. Okay, Okay, I'm checking out for something. So how I'll be or how we might be taking this pair, this trading opportunity. First, we have to mark out the possible areas that price is likely to take out. Here is our sell side liquidity. Here is our sell side liquidity. Our sell side liquidity. Let me write it very well. Sell side liquidity. Okay, so that's our sell side liquidity. Now let's go to 4-hour time frame to see if we might have an entry, and of which price has done that. Okay. Now price is interesting here. Here's our daily demand I talked about, and if you watch carefully, we have a good market order block here. Here's our order block. I will highlight it very well for us to see. That's our order block, 4-hour order block. Here, that's our 4-hour order block. Okay. For our OB order block, yeah. So that is it. Okay. And it has even reacted very well. So that's let me okay, price has reacted to the order block. So all we have to do is wait for a change in character in lower time frame before we can approach it very well. So this is my analysis on GBPUSD, and these are the possible areas that we should be expecting our TPs. First, we have a buy side liquidity here. We have a buy side liquidity which is around 1.24700. Yes, we have a liquidity there. We have this supply here. I think I'll have to highlight it as well. We have a supply there, order block. Then this highs as well. We have it as well here. So those are possible TP areas that we should expect price to react to. First is here, first TP. Second TP should be inside this other block here, supply rather. Then third TP should be around here. Then let me we should expect price to create another high around, let's say, 1.30, which is a round figure. Yeah, so let me take out this out so that our chart will be neat enough. Remember, this is the 4-hour order block, so let's take note of that. Trying to refine the entry so that it will be easier for us, and for those who wants to learn, it will be easier for you to learn with this as well. Okay. Okay, so I'm making this analysis in a Asia section, and this is a this is a GBP USD. GBPs are more volatile during the London session because it's a pounds. Okay, GBP pairs are usually volatile during a London section, simply because during the London session, that is when that's the London time, so that is when they have their activities. That is when their banks are open for trading activities. So that is why they are more active, they are more volatile at that time. So we might see price come out to take out these Asia lows, or rather give us a good an entry again, and if possible take out these lows as a fake out, before we can see good continuation to the upside. So let's see for okay. However, I will update us on our channel, our Telegram channel, and please, if you are not in our Telegram channel, I will post the link so you have access to it. And if you want to know more on how I do find my entry, and you are interested in my mentorship program, I'll leave the link in the description box. Just take a look at it, click on the link, it will send it straight to my DM. There's a promo ongoing now which will end on the 31st of May this month that we are currently in, on the 31st of May 2023, in a 50% discount rate. So if you are interested, all you have to do is slide my DM, then we'll talk about it. For those who might be interested in my VIP signals, you can simply click on the link in the description box as well. You will get the link to my DM straight away as well. So this is it in a GBP USD. So this is what we should be expecting, at least if this goes to our plan, or if this goes according to this analysis, we should be expecting at least almost 700 pips of this pair. but we should be able to juice our first level of TP, which is at least 100. Let me check. From level of entry, because I'm taking this trade from here. First level of TP should be 160 pips. Second level of TP is about 300 pips, almost 300. That's 290 pips or 280 pips. Yeah, it's 290 pips. Then third level of TP is about 370 pips. Yeah, so that is how it is. That is how it is. So let's see. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching this great analysis. If you love what I did here, or if you love the analysis, you can give us a thumbs up, like, help us to subscribe, share to your friends who might be interested as well. Then subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you are yet to do that, please. It's very important. So whenever I make a new video of such again, you'll be the first to get notified. So thank you guys. See you some other time.